Welcome to the podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm Kevin.
I went to see Stranger Things. Secret Cinema was based on season 3 of Stranger Things, and I hadn't actually watched season 3 yet. So I was like, "Oh man, I haven't might have had a chance to watch it, but I'll go anyway and I'll have fun." And what I found was that the really great thing about me going to Secret Cinema and experiencing it all, and then watching season 3, was that I got a real good sense and I could kind of relate to how I felt when I was at Secret Cinema because if I go to Secret Cinema, I'm going to get the most expensive tickets, either VIP or whatever they've got going on, because you get a better experience. And I was taken straight through to this dark room, and it was there was people sort of sitting around a table, and it was I've forgotten the guy's name now, but it's Max's
Billy.
what you think is Billy. That's it. It's Billy, and it's an actor playing Billy. He played it awesomely, and it was so sinister. He kind of, I don't know. They said some things, and then his voice changed because it was based in season 3 when they all start getting possessed, I suppose. And then they were about to sort of smash this. They got another person who was there, not an actor. They'd taken them and they tied them up on this table, and it felt like I'm about to watch somebody get murdered because
And
they
then
were
you've gone,
swinging.
I'm at the wrong address.
Yeah,
This is actually
yeah,
real.
yeah. But it was. I mean, the whole experience was brilliant. And then I went and watched season 3. But I mean, that was a couple of years ago. So because season 4's just come out, I was like, right, I'm going to watch Stranger Things again from the start because I'm really bad at remembering things. Right, I'll watch.
Yeah, I
I mean,
noticed.
oh yeah, it's so bad. I'll watch. If I had to watch a series, like if it was on every one episode released every week, it would just be I just never remember anything. I'd have to watch it over and over and over again to get it.
Yeah,
Um,
I just
so
remember
it,
loads of bits.
yeah, you're really good. There was a guy at school I used to go to school with, and he used to watch Red Dwarf. And every single week he'd come in on the Monday and he'd be able to quote whole lines from Red Dwarf. And I was like, "How do you remember this?"
That's me.
Yeah,
I'm that guy.
amazing. But yeah, so Stranger Things, episode 1, The Vanishing of Will Byers. It was by the Duffer Brothers. It came out in 2016 and it's set in 1983. I'm pretty sure most of it is like a nod to other films that I love, and I think it captures the 80s like perfectly, or at least sort of the nostalgia of like from 80s movies. You know what I mean? Right at the very beginning, there's the guy from the lab, and he's running away from something, and he runs into the lift, and then the thing attacks him as the lift shuts. He gets lifted up inside the lift and killed. Obviously, I was like, "That's Alien. It's got to be." I'm sure there's a part of one of the Alien films where somebody gets like
Yeah.
lifted up.
They're
Um,
coming through the goddamn walls.
Everything about it for me is just brilliant. Every scene, every part. But yeah, so I was sort of thinking there's a bit where Will Byers is running. He goes into the house, and then he looks out the window, and there's a monster there. And that kind of I remember that movie about based on a real story about Fire in the Sky or something. It's called.
Yeah,
It's
with
about the guy.
Travis, that he
Yes,
gets abducted by aliens. And
yeah. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it's like kind of like that, or maybe probably X Files or something. But that's kind of the vibe I was getting. And then he tries to use the phone. That doesn't work. And then he runs to the shed. And the whole time I'm thinking X Files and ET. Um,
Yeah.
like right at the very beginning, when you first meet the boys and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
E.T.
I think that is all ET. That whole scene, I think, is almost a copy from the beginning of ET.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're all playing D&D in that. Isn't he bothering him saying, I want to play. And that's like, no, you can't play or something.
Oh yeah, isn't that the little sister or something? I can't remember.
Elliot, I think, that was
Yeah.
that was an ET. But that's the ironic thing to me. When I was a kid in the 80s, I couldn't find anyone that wanted to play D&D with me. But now we're in
Mm.
like the 21st, I think it's the 22nd century. Now we're in the 21st century. I've got people that will play D&D with me. So it's like,
Yeah.
in your face, 1980s kids that didn't want to play. I've got
Yeah,
bigger mates now that play D&D
yeah.
because
I think there are a
D&D is
lot.
cool now.
Yeah, yeah. Same as Warhammer and all of that. I think people are more willing to get into it.
Yeah, I
Say
mean, I like gaming. We do that nearly every week now. Recently, we've been just gaming constantly.
board games and things.
A lot of board game stuff. There's a lot of stuff you'd
Yeah,
like to, if you ever able to like come down and join in a gaming session. We play all
yeah.
sorts of games.
Well, yeah. I really miss our Friday night gaming sessions on the PlayStation, on the
Oh
Division.
yeah, we should bring that in again. Oh, I'm playing. We're jumping around topics here, but just very quickly off point. I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima at the moment on the
Yes, I've
phone.
got it. I've only
Beautiful
played the
game.
very beginning bit, and yeah, it was really really good.
Well, I started playing it and then I put it away for ages and I picked it up again. I'm like, got more and more into it because it's
Yeah.
little things like you're riding along, you suddenly see a fox, and then the fox runs from you and you follow the fox and he leads you to a secret place.
Ah,
And
I
it's
remember
little
that.
things like that. And then I had this whole quest where this singer started to tell us a tale of being enslaved by this demon bow and how the bow's cursed
Yeah,
and it's hidden and never found. And then
yeah.
you're like, I want to go and find this bow, and you work out that it's on this coast, but if you follow a trail of flowers, and then that led you to a cave with a picture of an island full of flowers. So then you start realizing, and then you go on this whole quest to look for this sacred demon bow, and then someone tries to stop you finding the bow, and that's all separate from the main storyline. It's just
Yeah,
awesome game. But
yeah.
anyway,
I didn't know there were side quests sort of like that. I think
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
really interesting way of doing side quests as well, isn't it? Like, yeah, or you spot something and just follow it.
Yeah, it's just like the more you start I mean, I started hammering the main quest line, but there's so many different areas you can explore, and it's stunning, and the whole samurai thing is awesome.
Well, at the
I
minute,
think it's
all I get to watch because of the kids is the Descenders. It's a BMX game. It's
I
actually pretty
thought
good.
I thought you were going
I
to
thought it
say
was
Descent, like what that horror film.
yeah, or Vampire. Is it called the Vampire or the Vampire? You know that remember the one that it starts off where you wake up and you're thirsty for blood and there's bodies everywhere. Looks like there's been some kind of accident and you're like, oh, and then
Oh, is this a
every
game?
yeah, this is the game. It's really really good.
Oh, it's
And
not
then
your real life then.
no, yeah, and in your vision's all sort of clouded, and in the distance you see like a kind of the silhouette of a figure with a heart in the middle of it pumping. So everything's kind of bluey, kind of grey, that kind of color, except the heart is nice and red, and you can see it pumping. And so you go towards this
Oh, I
figure.
remember.
Can you
Yeah,
remember? Yeah, and
you
then
were saying, "Get away from me, you fucking
yeah,
beast!"
yeah, because you're thirsty for blood, you attack this person, and then all of your vision comes sort of goes to normal because you've been sustained by the blood, and it turns out you've just killed your sister. So straight away, doom. And then the villagers all come out and they're like, find the beast. And you're like, oh. So you got to leg it. Oh, it's really good. Anyway, back to Stranger Things.
Oh
The music is awesome. And you know
yeah,
what? There is this nostalgia. I've probably been going on for about 10 years now where people love old stuff. It's like, oh, I remember this. I remember that when you were a kid.
well,
And it,
that's like the nostalgia thing, that everything you miss everything from like when you're a child because things seem to be better than what you probably the reality of it.
yeah,
Like you're not nostalgic probably for something that happened 15 years ago, are you?
no,
I don't have any nostalgia about that, but you have nostalgia about from stuff that's maybe 30 years ago. You're
yeah.
nostalgic about that.
I think you're nostalgic about the things that were brand new in your life, like music. When you first discovered, like for me, Guns N' Roses. I first discovered Pantera.
I don't know because you say that. I remember like when DVDs, my first time buying DVDs, and
Yeah,
but then I'm nostalgic about video stores.
yeah.
But that's not that long ago. But
No,
I'm
but
not nostalgic by like the first time I found DVDs, or even like when I first discovered the internet.
no, I think it's what things that excited you. Like I remember ordering a new Pantera album from our price, and then they called me and they were like, "Yeah, the album's in now." I was like,
Oh
"Yes!"
my God.
Straight down there. Remember, I used to have to do stuff like that. I
Yeah, well,
can't
yeah,
imagine.
a lack of supply that you'd be lucky you had to reserve
Yeah,
shit. But now you're
yeah.
like,
I
because
can't imagine kids being nostalgic about listening to something on Amazon Prime. You know what I mean?
I think for me, I think there's nostalgia around video rental stuff because, first of all, I never had Sky back then. You had 4 channels, and it's like, oh, it's Friday, you should get a
Yeah,
film, and you get there and you see like, oh yes, they've got the latest releases actually available, and then it's a big event to go home and watch that movie because it's like a
yeah,
real treat because there's no other things on TV to watch. Um,
exactly.
and then
Or
it's like,
even
oh my God, it's an event. I've got the video of the latest release
yeah,
because
even
it's taken a
recording stuff.
year to get there.
But even recording things, I used to remember recording He-Man, and I mean, I would even go so far as to like pause it exactly, or stop the video exactly when it just finished, so that I could record something straight after. Do you know what I mean? I was trying to. I even took tapes, opened up the tapes, took the tape out, and added tape from another tape
Oh my God,
to make to make the tape longer. So I had like a 45-minute cassette, and I wanted it to be longer, so I used another
did that
45-minute
work?
cassette to. Yeah, yeah, it
How
worked.
would that
Well,
fit in the casing?
there was just room for it.
Oh my
I
God.
don't think I could put all of the tape from one of the cassettes from another cassette in there, but I put as much as I could. But what I found was if you'd already had something recorded on there, when you played it, it would play. I think it would. I can't remember if it would. It would. It wouldn't play it at exactly right. So it would either be too fast or it would go a bit slow. But if you record it, because obviously the reel was bigger now, wasn't it? And it was still playing at the same speed, sort of going through. I don't know. It was odd,
You kind of
but
hacked the system and
yeah,
broken. It's
yeah,
not meant to do that. So it's,
yeah,
yeah, you've hacked reality, and reality
yeah,
doesn't like being hacked.
exactly. But yeah, I'd have my scissors out and I'd cut little bits of sellotape and sellotape the tape together and then shove it all in.
So you
Oh,
just wanted to have the long play videos or like
yes,
the E240s.
yeah, yeah. When there was like a 90-minute, I think it was a 200-minute cassette or something,
Yeah, it was a
and I was like,
240,
"That's
E240s.
yeah." I was like, "Oh,
You
this is
had
awesome."
180s. You had a 180, which are generally
Yeah,
the Scotch ones, and
yeah.
then you had like I can't remember the brand, probably TDK or something like that. But they were like
Uh-huh.
240. I remember 180s, 240s, and sometimes you get a 60-minute one, which would just not have hardly anything on.
Yeah.
I've just started watching Strange New Worlds. Um, it's just all woke now, isn't it? It's
Oh,
better than
okay.
Discovery, but it's still woke as
I think we're going to see a bit of a shift on wokeness soon.
I don't know if you've seen the
Uh,
Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Oh man,
no,
it's so poor.
is
It's
it?
so bad. Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, back to Stranger Things because
Nostalgia. How it makes you feel
yes,
nostalgia for the.
well, yeah, and I think it's quite clever. I think the whole sort of I feel like the story, the way they've written it is all really clever, and they've done a bit of foreshadowing because right at the end, when the boys are playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then Will gets killed, taken by the Demigorgon, and so that's like setting him up for the monster later on getting him.
Yeah.
But there's I mean, again, it's another one where the characters I think are interesting. And actually, I was going to say about Hopper, the sheriff. Right at the very beginning, right, he kind of in fact, right at the very beginning of the scene with him, it shows you a nice child picture on the wall, right, of a family, like a mother and a father and a kid, and then it kind of pans across, and you start to see cans of alcohol and cigarettes and a messy room, and then Hopper lying on the couch like, ugh. And so you get a real contrast, and I think that's a clue because later on in the episode, when they're searching for Will in the forest, one of the characters tells, I can't remember who she tells now. She like reveals that Hopper's daughter is dead.
Was
So then
you
you start,
was you getting a raging clue from that?
yeah.
I'm getting the clue now too.
Oh, it's
South Park again.
yeah, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my clue's pointing this way. Oh God, my clues too. He's pointing there. I don't know why he went
Oh,
Irish, but that's
yeah.
such a raging clue. Oh yeah, I got a clue too.
Was that obviously I'm thinking Mr. Garrison and Mr. Slave. Was that who was?
No, it was the Hardy Boys detectives.
Oh, yes.
Well,
Ah, yeah,
they're
I
like
remember
they
now.
bring him
Yeah,
in the case to find out the mystery of who did a turd in the urinal.
yeah, yeah. It's quality.
I've got a clue.
Oh.
Oh, I've given a clue too. Oh yeah, my clue's raging.
So Renona Ryder uh, in Stranger Things is brilliant. I remember her from the last thing I remember from really is
Oh, Blue
Beetlejuice.
Lagoon. Oh yeah, was she in the Blue Lagoon? Or am I thinking of another person?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd have to
That's your
check.
homework. Look that up. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Beetlejuice. She was in Beetlejuice.
yeah. So I always remember her from Beetlejuice. And
Oh no, you've done it. I think we've said it more than 3 times.
oh, do 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 do
Yeah.
do do do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I reckon. I know a little bit more about the rest of the series and stuff, right? But you can really see Winona Ryder, her character, as like this proper, like a mother with a real proper mother's intuition. She knows that Will's there's something wrong straight away. She knows something's wrong. Like Will's gone, and then I mean even later on in the season as well, she knows he's not dead. Do you know what I mean? She's got conviction of all that. She's the one that is like she just knows deep down what that something's happened with her son. And then
Yeah, and she looked hilarious when they were getting the awards with her facial expressions as well. She was definitely off her head on drugs or alcohol or something.
what?
If you
What
haven't
do you mean?
seen it, look at the where she's putting all these weird faces at the award ceremony. It's
Really?
hilarious. YouTube that she's like making really weird faces like she's on something. They're all getting an
I'll have a look.
award and she's making really over exaggerated faces. It's hilarious.
I'll have a look.
So yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then 11 shows up, and there's not really much about 11 in season one. Actually, she just obviously she's
Well,
you get this sense that she's got powers, and
see, I think that they had all this talk about, they were foreshadowing Vecna early on. I'm like, no, they weren't. They were making stuff up as it went along, and they were
yeah.
clearly just trying to evolve the plot from series to
Ah,
series.
yes, because what's his name? Um, oh, Steve. I should remember this. So Steve, Nancy's boyfriend, um, he
Yes.
yeah, so he was actually supposed to be killed quite early on. And I can't remember if he was supposed to have been killed in even episode one, but fairly early on in season one, he was supposed to be killed. But because he's likable,
Yeah, they
um,
decided to keep him and they've
yeah,
changed the
yeah,
story. Yeah. There's
yeah, definitely.
only ever been one series where that has been plotted out from the start to the end of its 5 year run. And for a bonus point, what series is that?
Oh, no,
Babylon 5, man.
I haven't seen Babylon 5.
Oh my God, you've got to watch. That's the
Ah,
next one on your list.
yeah.
But that's one of those ones that hasn't aged too well. It's a chore to get through the first series, but then if you can get through the first series, you've left with the most amazing TV series with the most amazing acting in it.
Okay, I'm gonna give that a go as well then.
I mean,
We're gonna have to.
I just on that one there, they're talking about there's two alien characters in it that just give the best performance ever. And throughout the series, their characters grow so much from like one character basically slaughters loads of that character's race is behind like atrocities and all that. Then
Mhm.
that character and they hate each other. That character goes on a redemption arc, and then in the last scene where they're saying the goodbyes, he goes up to him, the person who's had his people repressed and everything by his people. He says, I can never forgive what your people did to my people, but I
Mhm.
can forgive you. And it's like the most chilling scene ever. It's so good. Watch it.
We've probably got lists and lists of stuff that we want to watch.
That's why they picked Liam Neeson to play in Schindler's List because he's good at making lists. That was from how was it? Life's Too Short. That Ricky Gervais thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought that was actually quite really funny.
Yeah.
The only thing is about that, when I was watching Ricky Gervais, he kept saying things that I was like, oh, stop saying it. Because he kept saying, oh, this one will get cut out. And he's like, I can't even. And there's one point I can't remember, he's taking the mickey out of something, probably to do with trans people or something, one of those jokes that he was saying. And he was like, I can't even, and he kept saying, I can't even believe this isn't even funny. So there was bits of it where I was like, oh, stop saying that, man, you're ruining it.
What is that in Life's Too Short?
Oh, in fact, no, it's not Life's Too Short, is it? Is it? It's the new one he did.
Oh, you're talking about his stand-up. No, Life's Too
Uh,
Short is a series with Warwick Davis.
yes. Yeah, I haven't seen that though. There's a few that I want to watch. I want to watch Derek as well.
It's just over sentimentality. I didn't
Is
enjoy
it?
that. Yeah,
Oh,
the only best thing in that is Carl Pilkington. But if you want some decent Carl Pilkington, watch I'm Sick of It.
yeah.
That's quite amusing.
I met Carl Pilkington
Oh
a
man.
few years ago. He signed some books for me, and I got another one done for me, mate. And he was outside of Asda in Watford, and he was in a caravan.
What?
So I went to see him, and I was like, oh, and yeah, bought his book, signed it. He was in character as well, so Carl
Yeah, I
Pilkington.
think that is just him, though. I think that's not
Well,
in character.
I,
That's just
I,
him.
I think he's a comedy genius.
Yeah,
I think he's just really good at like how he doesn't laugh when he says stuff. I've got no idea, but he's brilliant.
I just
Yeah,
think that's him.
yeah.
Head the size of an orange.
But yeah, outside Asda in a caravan. Maybe that's how he does his book signings. Just shows up in
Hang
a
on, you
caravan.
sure it wasn't just some homeless guy you went up to and he just said, "Yeah, no, that's me."
Yeah, looked like him.
Like wandering into the wrong address for a Stranger Thing experience and coming across a
Yeah.
murder instead. Because things happen to you like that
Uh,
all the time.
that's why
Well,
I wonder whether this world's even real.
it isn't. Everything's an illusion. Elon Musk said so. Like I said,
Uh,
you're an NPC.
no,
He
I
was
don't
like,
think
"Stop asking me for a quest." I said, "I don't want to hear from you again about how you took an arrow to the knee and you used to be an adventurer like me, and now you're on guard duty in the city when your cousin's out fighting dragons." Skyrim, man, come on.
Oh,
You must
okay,
have
yeah.
played Skyrim.
No, yeah, I have, but only
Ah,
once. I
God,
think I
I've
can't remember if it
restarted
was
that main quest so many times.
I mean, I think I might have played it when because I've never bought it, so it must have been free play or something. For like when they do like on PlayStation for a weekend, you can
Yeah.
play. I could have been something like that. But
I've been playing that since the PS3. I had it on a PS3, PS4, and on my PC, virtual reality. It's awesome. And we're talking about a 10-year-old game now. Cobra Kai. Have you watched Cobra Kai yet?
yes, I like Cobra Kai. Although I think I might have only seen the first two seasons.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I've watched like the first two series like 10 times each.
Cobra Kai.
Never die. The way
Finish him.
begins. Get him a body bag.
Put him in a body bag.
I whenever I'm doing like my karate sparring, in my head I always have Sensei Chris in the background shouting out, "Finish him!" Here comes a
Uh,
special move. Down arrow twice,
yeah.
triangle button, and then back. And that'll be a fireball or something.
Well, my 7-year-old watched Karate Kid first film, um,
Oh, classic.
but he didn't like it.
What?
But
Hang on, was it the Jaden Smith one you made him watch?
yeah, so he's watched that one and he really liked that
Oh,
one.
what?
So
That's not even karate, man. That's kung fu.
no, but there's a generation sort of thing though now. I think where they're watching so much content and they're used to a much more fast paced sort of thing. Like he watched Back to the Future, and I didn't realize how kind of pacey Back to the Future is. Which so he watched it all and he really enjoyed it.
Okay, good
But
morning. We gotta go back in time to say that. Yeah, with that now. Where we going? Yeah,
yeah,
it's very
and
fast.
yeah, so it's good. But yeah, I think there are other things, especially sort of 80s type films that are probably a little bit slow from at the moment. I mean, my two are just mad, so they can't really watch full length films. Or they do some actually. They watched Up. They really like Up, which is a Disney film, isn't it? Or is it Pixar? Pixar film.
Pixar.
Yeah. So they really like that. So yeah, depends on what kind of film it is.
Maybe a little bit young for Karate Kid at the moment, the original, but
Yeah,
that is still one of my top favourite films of all
yeah.
time. Probably best I don't watch episodes, see the pilot of Twin Peaks, just for the fact that it's not very pacey. Um,
Cool.
I
Good chat.
guess uh, I guess
How do
that's
you?
it for until next time, everybody.
Yeah. How do you end a podcast?
I think you just hit finish recording, and it's like ended. Do we do like bye bye everyone rainbow style and play some childish music over the top?
One skin, two skin.
Ha ha ha! Foreskin. I really got a little one. On that
On that note,
bombshell, let's go.
see you next time, Kev.